All right, so are you ready to dive into a topic that I think we all can relate to?
Yeah, sounds like a good one.
We all want more energy, right?
Yeah, who doesn't?
So many listeners wrote in wanting us to do a deep dive into this article.
Oh, yeah, Dr. John Demartini.
Yeah, by Dr. John Demartini, all about 6 proven ways to have more energy.
Yeah, he's a pretty big name.
He is. He's kind of a big name in the human behavior world.
Personal development and all that.
And I got to admit, some of this stuff is pretty out there. But I'm curious to see what you make of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, his approach is definitely kind of unique. Like, he's not just focusing on diet and exercise.
Right.
He goes deeper.
Yeah.
He connects our energy levels to, like, values.
Oh, wow.
Our purpose in life. Even our gut health.
Whoa, hold on. Gut health.
Yeah.
I'm all for eating my veggies.
Right.
But how does that tie into having more energy?
Yeah, well, there's a growing body of research on the gut-brain connection. And it turns out that the bacteria in our gut can actually influence, like, our mood, our focus.
And, yeah, even our energy levels. So Demartini's arguing that, like, a healthy gut contributes to steady, sustained energy throughout the day.
So no more relying on that 3 o'clock cup of coffee or that afternoon energy drink.
Not according to Demartini, no.
Okay.
Those are just quick fixes.
Yeah.
That lead to energy crashes later on. He advocates for a more holistic approach.
Okay.
Starting with understanding our values.
Okay, let's unpack that a little bit.
Sure.
Because he talks about this hierarchy of values, which sounds a little intimidating to me, but I think I get the gist. It's like figuring out what matters most to you in life right now.
Exactly. And when we are living in alignment with our highest values, we just naturally have more energy. It's like we're tapping into this internal source of power.
So if I'm spending most of my day doing things that feel, I don't know, draining or meaningless, that's a sign that I might be out of sync with my values. That's one way to look at it, yeah. He suggests that, those feelings of fatigue, burnout, could be signals that we're investing our energy in the wrong areas.
Interesting. So step 1 is to figure out what our values actually are.
Right.
And he even mentions an online tool called the value determination process to help with that.
Yeah, it's a series of questions designed to help you kind of uncover what your core values are. It can be a little bit of a process, but once you are clear on what matters to you, you can start making choices that support those values.
So it's like making that connection between knowing yourself and then making sure your actions are actually supported. That right.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all connects. So if we know our values, then we can start prioritizing our time and energy accordingly.
Precisely. That's step 2.
Okay.
It's all about prioritizing.
Okay.
He says if we don't schedule in time for those high-value activities, our days will inevitably get filled up with low-priority distractions that just drain our energy.
Oh, tell me about it. I feel like my to-do list is a mile long. And I'm constantly running around putting out fires. Like, where do I even start?
Well, he suggests taking a hard look at your daily activities.
Okay.
And ask yourself, how much is this producing for me? How much meaning does it have for me? And could I delegate this to someone else?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I'm definitely guilty of taking on too much and not delegating enough. But what if there are just things I can't delegate?
Well, for those unavoidable tasks, he has this concept called linking.
Okay.
Which is finding a way to connect that low priority task to a higher value, even if it's just in your mind.
Okay, so give me an example. How do I link something I dread doing to a value I actually care about?
Okay, well, imagine someone asks to hit your thumb with a hammer.
Oh.
Would you let them do that?
Probably not.
But what if they offered you $10 million?
Ouch.
Would you do it then?
I see where you're going. Yeah.
It's all about shifting how we perceive the task.
It's changing the perception?
Right.
Okay.
If you can see how even a really mundane task contributes to something you value deeply, it just becomes less draining, even energizing.
Okay, I'm liking this approach so far.
Yeah.
So we've covered values, priorities. What's next on Demartini's energy-boosting agenda?
Step 3 is all about eating for performance, not indulgence.
Okay.
He emphasizes this. Moderate, rhythmic approach to eating for consistent energy levels throughout the day.
So no more sugar rushes or late-night pizza binges.
Not if you want to maximize your energy, according to Demartini. No.
Okay.
He says we want to avoid these energy roller coasters that come from stimulants and sedatives.
Yeah.
So instead, he focuses on eating for sustained energy, which includes getting enough fiber, For optimal digestion, he even gets kind of graphic, mentioning the Bristol stool chart.
Okay, we don't have to go into that much detail.
Yeah.
But seriously, though, how does digestion relate to having more energy?
Well, remember that gut-brain connection we talked about?
Yeah.
It turns out that when our digestion is sluggish, our energy levels can take a hit too. Demartini himself, he sticks to water and fresh vegetable juices for high, steady energy.
Interesting. So it sounds like he's advocating for a pretty clean diet, but nothing too extreme, more about just finding a sustainable way to fuel our bodies.
Exactly. It's about ditching the quick fixes and focusing on long-term energy management.
All right, so we've got values, priorities, diet covered. What's step 4?
This one might surprise you. It's all about our emotional state.
Okay.
He argues that unbalanced emotions are a major energy drain.
So all those emotional roller coasters we go through are actually depleting our energy reserves.
That's the theory. He suggests that, finding our center, managing those emotional extremes is crucial for maintaining high energy levels. He even has a program called the Breakthrough Experience that delves deeper into this. But even just being aware of that connection between our emotions and our energy is a good starting point.
Yeah, I'm starting to see a pattern here. His approach isn't about these quick fixes or external sources of energy. It's about creating an internal environment that supports sustained energy, sort of like tending to a garden.
Right.
Making sure the soil is fertile, the conditions are right for growth.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy. And that leads us perfectly into step 5, which is all about having a clear vision.
Okay, vision board, got it.
For your life.
But how does that translate to having more energy?
Well, think about it this way. If you're driving somewhere new, but you don't have a map or a GPS, you're likely to feel lost and frustrated and maybe even a little anxious.
Yeah, that sounds draining.
Right. But if you have a clear destination in mind, even if you hit a few detours along the way, you're much more likely to stay motivated and energized.
So having a vision for our lives is like having that internal GPS guiding us towards our goals and keeping us on track.
I love that. That's a great way to put it. And he believes this sense of purpose is crucial for maximizing our energy. He suggests asking ourselves some tough questions to kind of help us define that vision. What would you love to do and get paid for? What are the steps you need to take to get there? What obstacles might you face?
Yeah.
And how can you overcome them?
Those are some big questions. I'm already feeling overwhelmed.
It can be a bit daunting, yeah. But he believes that, taking the time to answer those questions is essential for creating a life that truly energizes us.
So we've covered values, priorities, diet, emotional well-being. Now this idea of having a vision, clear vision for our lives.
Right.
What's the final piece of the puzzle when it comes to maximizing our energy?
This one might be the simplest, yet it's often the most overlooked.
Okay.
Cultivating gratitude.
Okay.
He has this really powerful idea that, ungratefulness is baggage, weighing us down, while gratitude is fuel, propelling us forward.
I love that analogy. But how does gratitude actually translate into more energy?
Well, research has shown that practicing gratitude can have a profound impact on our well-being. It can reduce stress, improve sleep, boost our immune system.
I knew gratitude was good for the soul, but I didn't realize it had tangible, physical
benefits.
Benefits,
Yeah, and when you think about it, it makes sense. When we are focused on what we are grateful for, it just shifts our perspective. We start to see the good in our lives, even amid challenges and setbacks.
So instead of focusing on what's lacking or what's wrong, we're training our minds to appreciate what we have.
Right.
And that, in turn, creates a more positive, energizing outlook.
Exactly. It's about cultivating an attitude of appreciation, finding those little things to be thankful for each day, even when life gets tough.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
He's giving us this blueprint for creating a life that's not just busy, but truly fulfilling and energizing.
He's definitely challenging us to think differently about energy management. It's not about finding external sources of energy, but rather it's about removing those internal obstacles that are blocking our natural flow of energy.
I like that. It's about clearing away the clutter, both physical and mental, that's weighing us down.
Right.
And preventing us from tapping into our full potential.
Precisely. It's about creating space for our energy to flow freely, to be directed towards the things that truly matter to us. That's where the real energy lies.
It's funny. We often talk about feeling drained or burned out like it's just a normal part of life.
Yeah.
But Demartini seems to be saying it doesn't have to be this way.
He's definitely challenging that assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah, he believes that we have more control over our energy levels than we realize.
Okay.
It's not about simply having more energy. It's about using the energy we have more wisely.
So instead of searching for those external energy boosts,
Right.
we need to look inward and remove the things that are draining us in the first place.
Exactly. It's like we're decluttering our energy field.
Yeah, I like that analogy.
And a big part of that decluttering process,
Okay.
according to Demartini, is getting clear on our values.
Yeah.
Making sure that our actions are aligned with them.
He actually uses this term energy investment.
Yes.
Which I find really interesting.
I love that.
It's like we're not just spending energy willy-nilly.
Right.
We're strategically investing it in the things that matter most.
And when we invest our energy wisely, we get a much higher return.
Yeah.
We feel more fulfilled. We feel more energized. We feel more capable of handling whatever life throws at us.
I'm starting to see how this ties back to that idea of removing the obstacles to our natural energy flow.
Yeah.
When we're living in alignment with our values, we're creating a clear channel for that energy to move through us.
Exactly. And that's why he emphasizes the importance of those first few steps. Identifying our values, prioritizing our actions, and making sure our physical health is supporting our energy levels.
Speaking of physical health, I have to ask about this emphasis on gut health.
Yeah.
And I got to admit, I was a little skeptical at first. I mean, how much can our digestion really impact our energy?
It's becoming increasingly clear that gut-brain connection is far more powerful than we once thought. The bacteria in our gut play a role in everything from our mood and our cognitive function to our immune system and even our metabolism.
So if we're not digesting properly, it can actually lead to fatigue and low energy.
Absolutely. And that's why he stresses the importance of a healthy diet rich in fiber and nutrients that support gut health. He even goes so far as to recommend the Bristol stool chart as a guide to, let's just say, digestive efficiency.
Okay, maybe we don't need to go into too much detail there, but I get the point. Taking care of our gut is about more than just avoiding digestive discomfort.
Right.
It's about optimizing our overall health and energy levels.
Exactly. It's all interconnected. And that brings us to another really crucial aspect of his approach, managing our emotions.
I can definitely relate to this one.
Yeah.
When I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed, my energy absolutely tanks.
That's because our emotions have an energetic cost when we're constantly riding that emotional roller coaster. It depletes our reserves. That's why Demartini stresses the importance of finding our center, developing emotional resilience, and managing those emotional extremes.
He even mentions his Breakthrough Experience program.
Yes.
Which I assume delves deeper into this.
It's a more intensive program designed to help people break through emotional blocks and limiting beliefs. But even if you're not ready for something that intense, there are simple things we can all do to become more aware of our emotional patterns and develop strategies for staying grounded.
Like mindfulness or meditation?
Exactly. Those practices can be incredibly helpful for cultivating emotional stability and reducing stress, which in turn can free up a lot of energy.
Okay, so we've got our physical health, our emotional well-being covered.
Right.
What about that fifth step, creating a vision for our lives? How does that tie into having more energy?
Well, think of it this way. When you have a clear sense of purpose, a destination you're working towards, it gives you direction and motivation. Okay.
It helps you prioritize your actions and make choices that are aligned with your goals.
So instead of just reacting to whatever comes up, we're proactively moving towards something that we're passionate about.
Exactly. And that sense of purpose and direction can be incredibly energizing. It gives us something to look forward to, something to strive for.
He even suggests some pretty tough questions to help us define that vision.
Yeah.
Like, what would you love to do and get paid for? That's not an easy one to answer.
It can be challenging, but those are the questions that really get us thinking about what truly matters to us. And once we have a clearer sense of our passions and purpose, it's much easier to make choices that support that vision.
And those choices in turn become energy investment,
Yeah,
propelling us toward our goals.
It's all interconnected. Our values, our priorities, our physical and emotional health, our vision for our lives, all of these things contribute to our overall energy levels.
It's like he's giving us this holistic blueprint for creating a life that's not just busy,
but truly fulfilling and energizing.
He's definitely challenging us to think differently about energy management. It's not about finding external sources of energy, but rather about removing the internal obstacles that are blocking our natural flow of energy.
I like that it's about clearing away the clutter, both physical and mental, that's weighing us down and preventing us from tapping into our full potential.
Precisely. It's about creating space for our energy to flow freely, to be directed towards the things that truly matter to us. That's where the real energy lies.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. You've talked about values, priorities, gut health, emotional well-being, and even vision boards. But there's one more piece of the puzzle, right? Gratitude?
Yes, gratitude is often overlooked, but he considers it to be one of the most powerful energy boosters there is. He even calls it fuel for our energy.
I love that analogy, but how does gratitude actually translate into more energy? What's the science behind it?
Well, research has shown that gratitude has a profound impact on our well-being, both mentally and physically. It can reduce stress, it can improve sleep, it can boost our immune system, and it can even make us more resilient in the face of challenges.
Wow, I knew gratitude was good for the soul, but I didn't realize it had such tangible physical benefits. It sounds like a pretty potent energy booster.
It really is, and when you think about it, it makes sense. When we're focused on what we're grateful for, it shifts our perspective. We start to see the good in our lives, even amidst challenges and setbacks.
So instead of dwelling on what's lacking or what's wrong,
Right.
we're training our minds to appreciate what we have.
Exactly. It's about cultivating an attitude of appreciation, finding those little things to be thankful for each day, even when life gets tough.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together. It's like he's giving us a blueprint for creating a life that's not just busy, but truly fulfilling and energizing.
Yeah. He's definitely challenging us to think differently about energy management. It's not about finding external sources of energy, but rather about removing the internal obstacles that are blocking our natural flow of energy.
I like that it's about clearing away the clutter, both physical and mental, that's weighing us down and preventing us from tapping into our full potential.
Precisely. It's about creating space for our energy to flow freely, to be directed towards the things that truly matter to us. That's where the real energy lies.
And he argues that gratitude plays a key role in that process.
Yes.
By focusing on what we're grateful for.
Right.
We're essentially creating more space for positive energy to flow into our lives.
That's a great way to put it. Gratitude is like a magnet for positive energy. It helps us attract more of the good stuff into our lives, which in turn fuels our energy levels and makes us feel more alive and vibrant.
It's like we're shifting our energy from a state of scarcity to a state of abundance.
Exactly. When we're grateful for what we have, we open ourselves up to receiving even more, and that can be incredibly energizing.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm ready to start cultivating more gratitude in my life. But I have to admit, sometimes it's hard to feel grateful when things are tough.
Yeah.
How do we cultivate gratitude when we're facing challenges or feeling down?
That's a great question, and it's definitely something we all struggle with from time to time, but Demartini would argue that those are the times when gratitude is most important.
Because it helps us shift our perspective.
Exactly. When we're going through a difficult time, it's easy to get caught up in the negativity and lose sight of the good things in our lives.
So even when things are tough,
Right.
there's always something to be grateful for. It might be our health, our loved ones, a roof over our heads, or even just a beautiful sunset.
Exactly. And the more we practice finding those little things to be grateful for, even amidst the challenges, the more natural gratitude becomes. It becomes a habit, a way of life.
And that shift in perspective,
Right.
that focus on the positive, can have a profound impact on our energy levels.
Absolutely. Gratitude is a powerful energy booster. It helps us tap into that inner source of energy and create a more positive, fulfilling, and energized life.
I'm really starting to see how all of these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
It's not just about one quick fix or magic bullet.
Right.
It's about creating a lifestyle that supports our energy levels from the inside out.
Exactly. And that's what's so empowering about his approach. He's giving us a framework, a set of tools to take control of our energy and create a life that truly energizes us.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about values, priorities, gut health, emotional well-being, vision boards, and gratitude. What if we missed?
I think we've explored all 6 of his steps to having more energy.
Okay.
It's a pretty comprehensive approach, and it really highlights the interconnectedness of our physical, mental, and emotional well-being.
I think it's safe to say that Demartini believes that energy is not something we simply have or don't have. It's something we cultivate, something we direct, something we can learn to manage and maximize.
Absolutely. He's empowering us to take control of our energy levels and create a life that truly energizes us from the inside out.
And on that note, I'm curious, what's one practical takeaway our listeners can implement today to start boosting their energy levels? What's one small step they could take in the right direction?
I'd say start by taking a few minutes to reflect on your values. What's truly important to you? What are your top priorities? Once you have a clear understanding of your values, you can start making choices that align with them, both big and small.
It's about becoming more conscious of how you're spending your energy.
Right.
And making sure that it's being invested in ways that support your overall well-being and happiness.
Exactly. It's about creating a life that's not just busy, but truly fulfilling and energizing.
It's like we're taking back control of our energy instead of letting it control us.
Precisely. And that's a powerful shift in perspective.
So we've got our homework assignment, figure out our values, start aligning our actions with them, maybe even give that value determination process a try.
Yeah.
What else can our listener do to really make this information stick?
I'd encourage them to revisit their daily routines. Look at your schedule, your to-do list, even the way you're spending your downtime. Ask yourself, is this activity energizing me or is it draining me?
And if it's draining, can you delegate it?
Right.
Eliminate it.
Right.
Or at least reframe it so it feels more connected to your values, like we talked about with that hammer analogy.
Exactly. It's about making conscious choices that support your energy levels instead of depleting them.
You know, it's interesting. Demartini really flips the script on how we think about energy management.
Yeah.
We're so used to thinking about how to get more energy right.
Right.
More sleep, more coffee, more supplements. But
yeah.
he's saying the real key is
Yeah.
figuring out what's draining our energy.
It's a total paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Instead of constantly trying to fill our tank, we need to patch the leaks.
Yeah.
And those leaks, as we've been talking about, often come from, being out of alignment with our values, neglecting our physical and emotional well-being, and lacking a clear vision for our lives.
It's like we're trying to power a race car with a flat tire,
Exactly.
We can keep pouring in the fuel, but we're not going to get very far until we fix that underlying issue.
And sometimes those flat tires are things that we're not even aware of. We just accept feeling tired or stressed as normal.
Yeah.
Without ever questioning why.
Which is why I think his emphasis on self-awareness is so important.
Yes.
We need to take the time to understand ourselves, our values, our needs, and what truly energizes us.
Absolutely.
And only then can we start making choices that actually support our energy levels.
He's really advocating for a more conscious, intentional way of living.
Yeah.
It's not about just going through the motions, It's about being present, paying attention to our bodies and our minds, and making adjustments as needed.
So it's not just about what we do, but how we do it.
Yes.
Even simple tasks can become energizing if we approach them with intention and awareness.
Yeah. Remember his linking technique?
Yeah.
It's a perfect example of how we can shift our energy by simply changing our perspective.
Okay.
Instead of viewing a task as a chore, we can find a way to connect it to a value we care about.
Okay. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
I have a mountain of paperwork to go through later, and it's usually my least favorite task.
Right.
But maybe if I can reframe it as an act of service to my clients, it'll feel less draining.
There you go. It's about finding those little mental shifts that can make a big difference in our energy levels. And it's a practice. It takes time to develop that awareness and cultivate those new habits.
It's encouraging, though, because it means we're not stuck.
Right.
With our current energy levels, we can actually change them.
Absolutely.
Like changing our thoughts, our actions, and our overall approach to life.
Absolutely. And he provides a roadmap for doing just that.
Yeah.
He's giving us 6 concrete steps that we can implement to start boosting our energy and creating a more fulfilling life.
Okay, let's recap those one last time for our listener.
Okay, step 1, identify your values, what truly matters to you.
Step 2, prioritize your actions based on those values. Make time for the things that energize you.
Step 3, eat for performance, not indulgence. Nourish your body with foods that support sustained energy.
Step 4, manage your emotions. Find your center and avoid those energy-zapping emotional roller coasters.
Step 5, create a clear vision for your life. Having a sense of purpose can be incredibly energizing.
And step 6, cultivate gratitude. Focus on the good and watch your energy levels soar.
It's a simple framework, but it's incredibly powerful when we put it into practice.
And the best part is it's not about adding more to our already busy lives.
Right.
It's about simplifying, clarifying, and aligning our actions with what truly matters.
It's about making choices that support our energy levels rather than depleting them.
Yeah.
It's about creating a life that feels aligned, purposeful, and energized.
So there you have it.
Yeah.
We've explored Dr. Demartini's 6 proven ways to have more energy. And we've unpacked, I think, some of the key principles behind his approach.
Absolutely.
We hope this deep dive has given you some new insights and tools to start experimenting with in your own life.
Yeah.
Remember, it's all about taking control of your energy and creating a life that truly energizes you from the inside out.
And if you're feeling inspired to take this exploration further, we encourage you to check out his work, including the value determination process and his breakthrough experience program.
Yeah.
There's always more to learn and discover on this journey of personal growth and energy mastery.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep energizing your life.